Celeb Savant is a career retrospective type interview focusing on singers, actors, and industry experts. Join Barrett Edelstein now as he dives into the entertainment world.
At just 13 years old, Ethan English is making waves in the world of electronic dance music and is already being labelled as the next big EDM act. Based in Dubai and born in South Africa, Ethan began his DJ journey at 9 years old and is one of the most talked about young performers in the region, having already performed in Berlin, Ibiza, Amsterdam, Greece, Dubai, Saudi Arabia and South Africa, as well as several private and public events including Abu Dhabi Formula One main stage, the Emirates Rugby Sevens Festival, and the Dubai Games. Ethan is the youngest DJ to ever perform on an official Ushuaia stage and an Untold stage, and has been included in lineups at major festivals like Rave the Planet, Freaks Festival, and Magical Marble Family Fest. He has opened for David Guetta during his comeback tour to Dubai and has warmed up the crowds for Capuchan, Afrojack, and Coco and Breezy. Ethan currently attends the Dubai Sound Academy School and is guided by multiple mentors from the UK, Argentina, Spain, and the Netherlands. He is a developing producer with several original tracks in the making and 3 releases on Spotify. Up next on Celeb Savant, we've got DJ Ethan English. Where in the world are you and how are you doing?
Hello, everyone. My name's Ethan English. I'm 13 years old. I am currently based in Dubai at the moment.
How did you get fascinated and passionate about music?
I was very into music at the time and I really liked music. And I saw this little kid DJing at my school. I thought it was really cool because I like DJs and the music, like I said. And my dad just went up to the kid and asked, how are you so good at DJing? And the kid said he goes to this DJ school. And my dad got the DJ school's number and then my dad enrolled me. But I'm going to be honest, at first I didn't really like DJing because I didn't know anything. It wasn't my style. Let's just say it was boring. But me and my dad just kept pushing myself, and I've kept pushing myself over the time, and now I've kind of got to where I am.
How long did it take you until you decided, okay, I actually like this?
I'd say I've been DJing for about maybe 5 years now, maybe 6. And maybe a year or 2 ago, that's when I said I want to do this as like a full time, and I really liked it at that time.
During the period of time that you were sort of pushing through and you weren't really enjoying it, was it like, oh, I have to do this? Or was it a situation of like, okay, I want to learn, I want to be open, and let's just keep pushing?
Let me put it in a way, it's kind of like homework.
Yes.
It's like I have to do it, but I don't want to do it.
But now you want to do it, correct?
Yeah.
Now, you said you've been DJing professionally for, you said 5 years, is that correct?
No, I've been professionally DJing for about maybe 1.5 years to 2 years.
Being professional in this world, what aspects of that surprised you that you did not realize would be part of the process of being professional?
I have a very special technique that most DJs don't do, is where they do spin backs on some of the drops. And a lot of DJs can't do spins. And me being 13, knowing how to do spins is really amazing because I also have one of the best spins, in my opinion, in the world that I don't think any other DJ has created. And that spin that I did was kind of just like messing around with techniques. And then I found a song that I looped and then I spun it and I was like, whoa, that sounds really good. So that was really cool.
Now, knowing that you've got this technique and you found it by accident, did it take you a while to get used to the rhythm of doing it all the time? Or once you found it, could you do it all the time?
With everything you do, it's always going to take you a while to get used to. But if you keep practicing every day and keep trying it on different songs that work, it will become really easy if you just keep practicing and you keep doing it every day on different songs.
I'm loving your message for anyone out there, whatever age, whether they're 13, whether they're 15, whether they're 95. It's just about practicing, pitching up, and doing the effort or doing the intention with positive energy, correct?
Yeah.
How long do you practice each day?
There's days that I can't really practice because I have to balance schoolwork and DJing. Because I can't do it every day, there's, let's say, on the weekends, sometimes if I'm not hanging out with my friends, so I try and mix school and DJing in the middle of the week. So I have Friday and Saturday free, and then Sunday in the afternoon I do some more DJing and that. But if I'm going to do DJing, I'm going to spend like 4 or 5 hours on it, and then I'm going to do it a different time. Like, that's why I don't do it every day.
Do you think if you did it every day, you would get irritated with it?
You don't want to do it too much,
Yes.
but you also don't want to do it too little. So, like for me, 5 hours every few days is good.
And how do you balance this professional career with your school life?
There's been a few days where I got detention at school because I didn't finish my homework in time because of DJing. But I spoke to them, and like if I'm a little bit running late on my homework, they'll give me like a grace period of like 3 days to try and finish it. And it's never the case that I use it as an excuse. If I don't finish it, I'll always finish it at a time when I'm not DJing.
I think that's amazing that they coming to the party and saying, okay, well, let's see how we can work together. Because a lot of situations or schools or people who work when they've got something second going on, they're like, no, this is your focus, this is what you have to do. It doesn't matter about your other stuff. So it's amazing that the school is doing that. I put it out there to the school to say, well done. How much prep do you put in your set? So for the listener, I met Ethan in person. He was performing in Johannesburg at the Magical Marble Family Fest. And you've got so much energy. You get the crowd going. It was amazing watching you. But I heard your father saying, Jason, that you were free flowing at the end because you had extra time.
Yeah. So let's just say I didn't know I was going to play for an hour and 10 minutes. And normally when I like prepare my sets, I like to put certain markers and I know exactly what songs I'm going to play. And like, let's say the night before I do a test run and I don't like free flow. For me, I like to, let's say, have a precise mixing way on every song that I do. I didn't really know I was going to be playing some songs for the last 10 minutes. And I ran out of songs in that playlist that I made. So I had to go onto a different playlist. I played some of those songs and the crowd went crazy. It was super fun at that event. Not to mention, I might be going back there next year. So that will be super fun. And that's kind of just like, if you're going to run out of songs, you're going to have to, let's say, make time. And with some DJs, they don't really know how to mix. You need to learn how to mix first before you do all the other fancy stuff, because you're going to have times where you're going to run out of songs. And that's what happened to me. But luckily for me, I knew how to mix, and I'm like free flowed at the end, which is a part of mixing. It kind of all went well. And then I played one of Shim's songs. And not to mention, he came up on stage and surprised me when I wasn't noticing. And I was just like completely in shock.
That's amazing. You referenced a little while ago, you mentioned DJs, they need to know how to mix before they do any of the other fancy stuff. What is other fancy stuff? What are those things?
let's say a lot of people like to use BeatSync from the start. And I will say BeatSync isn't a bad thing from my side. BeatSync is when you're dropping in songs, you're never going to get it right as a DJ unless you like mastered and practiced the entire, let's say, 20 years of your career. You're gonna have to practice mixing before you start using BeatSync and trying to do spins and, let's say, fade out effects and bringing it back in. You're gonna just want to learn the basics of mixing. Then you can move on to like more like spin stuff. And when you're going to start dropping in songs, you can use BeatSync. But I wouldn't suggest using BeatSync from the start because it's not always good and you're gonna get used to it. And if you don't know how to mix without BeatSync, it's very hard to get out of BeatSync.
Oh, so is BeatSync like sort of an easy way for someone to do that without having the foundations?
Yes, so let me put it in a way. So you know on a DJ deck how you have that big wheel in the middle?
Yes.
It's called a jog wheel, okay? And whenever you press play, it's gonna be off and you use the jog wheel to put it in line. And what the BeatSync does is as you press play, it automatically puts it to the points where you're gonna want to mix. So it kind of helps you, but you're gonna want to do it after you know the basics of mixing.
As far as I understand, it was your first show in Johannesburg in South Africa at the Magical Marble Family Fest.
Yeah, so it actually was my first, let's say, home soil event in South Africa, like a public event, because I've DJed for my aunt's wedding in South Africa, both of my aunts actually, but I've never played publicly for a crowd in South Africa. So me DJing in my home country where I was born was really cool.
Where else have you performed? And I understand that you've opened for David Guetta.
Yeah, so I have actually opened for David Guetta in Dubai, at Ushuaia, Dubai. But you're gonna need like all sorts of permits and stuff because yet again it's an over 21 event. I got well, with the help of my dad got in touch with the people. He got the permits and that's how I was able to play for David Guetta and open. And David Guetta kind of gave me like one of the biggest moments of my life.
You've got this opening for David Guetta, Shimza surprising you on stage in Johannesburg. When you have these moments, and obviously more and more and more of them will happen as your career moves forward, each time something like that big happens, do you take time to process it and say, wow, this is amazing, well done? Do you recognize the work that you've done to get there? How do you recognize yourself and congratulate yourself for the milestones as they happen?
Let's say, for example, when Shimza walked up on stage and me being 13 years old myself, let's say when you're in front of a crowd, you can't like react big because you don't want to, let's say, start crying in front of the crowd or get emotional. But you always can do that, and the crowd should support, even if you're getting emotional with a big DJ, like let's say Martin Garrix or David Guetta. Like, for example, Shimza, he came on stage and I almost got emotional, but I held in. I was playing with him. I still had to entertain the crowd because otherwise the crowd, let's say they'll go away. They won't really stay if you're, let's say, just being with Shimza and you're trying to enjoy the moment. Some people, they might miss their mix and the songs that completely cut out. So it's kind of in a way where you have to control your emotions. And then once you're backstage, like, I don't know if you saw on my Instagram, I was like appreciating and thanking him so much for the event and him just being there to come on stage and surprise me.
What do you love about performing?
I love performing because there's a lot of new things you can learn from just that one event. And also just to try and make the crowd happy. So in Dubai and a lot of places, there's a war going on. For me, I feel like music just brings peace to the world. And that's what I like about music. And making crowd happy and seeing them sing and jump makes me really emotional because I know what I'm doing is right and making them feel good and distracting them from everything that's going on in the world.
Are you thinking about producing and creating your own original music? Is that a thought you've had?
Actually, now that you speak about it, I've already started making my own songs. I have 3 songs on Spotify already.
Oh, wow.
Called Losing My Mind, Serenade, Tell Me. I also have a song that is being built from me called Let You Down. And I played that at the family festival. So that was super cool to play my own tracks there. And I also played Serenade as my opening song. Playing my own tracks that I built from scratch that was never there is such a proud moment for me because there's multiple things that you had to do to build that song. So, yeah.
What else is coming up? Obviously, you've got school. You are in obviously the Dubai school space. So summer is when you go on holidays. Do you have a lot of events and performances booked for that time?
So actually this summer I have a lot of events coming up. I have Rave the Planet in Berlin. I have Art Beat 1. Also outside of DJing, I like to travel to go fishing because fishing is one of my hobbies. I have a lot of events, but you have to manage your events with your vacation because if you work too hard on it, you can sometimes get annoyed with it. And then you're going to have to restart over and keep trying to convince yourself to not quit.
Do you know when the new song is going to be released or not yet?
I actually use this music platform called Ditto to release my songs, but it normally takes about a month to release the song, but I haven't really put it on Ditto yet because I still have to make some final touches on it, like adding limiters and adding some echo and reverb on some of the tracks. So in that, it's a long process. So I've been working on that song for about maybe a few months now, and it's coming together nicely. But I want to change a few things before I make my final release. So I don't want to promise when it will be released, but I'll release it in the next year or 2.
Do you enjoy creating your own songs from scratch?
It's kind of a combination because it's the same like DJing. You need to take time off or you're not going to want to do it. And for me, doing it is nice, but you need to think about it in a way where you're going to use it because you're not going to enjoy making it because it's a boring process. But once you start playing your song live is when you realize that I worked hard on this song and I'm going to give it my all.
Okay, so I love this game. I know if I had to ask you this question tomorrow or the next day, I know your answer will be different every time. I'm not saying favorite. I'm saying top of mind. If once we finish this conversation, you want to listen to 5 other artists, who would those 5 artists be?
It would be Martin Garrix, David Guetta, Calvin Harris, Shimzo, and I'd also choose John Summit.
The podcast is listened to throughout the world. As a final message, what would you like to say?
I would say to everybody who's out there who's listening to me right now, if you're ever going to want to do something, even if it's not music related, let's say it's a job that you really want to do, but it's boring at the start, keep pushing yourself because you're going to have days that you're going to feel like quitting and you're going to have days that you're going to feel like crying. And it's always important to keep pushing yourself because you'll never get to where you want to succeed because you're going to quit. So you never want to quit and you just want to follow your dreams.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Celeb Savant. Please follow Barrett on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at Celeb Savant. That's CelebSavant.